Alright, so now that we have that downloaded into Notability, we can go ahead and get started. Our goal for this lesson, and you can always see our goals for the lesson at the bottom of the page, making sure that we're definitely on lesson 9. Our goal is to generate 2 number patterns from given rules, plot the points, and analyze the patterns. So we're really focusing in on the patterns for this lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. Question 1 says complete the table for the given rules. Line A says y is 1 more than x. So what I'm going to do with this is, since y is 1 more than x, well, I'm just going to add 1 to each of the x numbers. So y for this one is 2, and then 6, 10, 14. Pretty simple because it's just 1 more than whatever x number was. So then we do our coordinate pairs. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I like to draw the parentheses and the commas first, just because it's easier for me to do that. X comes before y in the alphabet, so x comes before y with the coordinate pairs. 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, 13, and 14. So those are our coordinate pairs for this question. So let's go ahead and plot those points, because it wants us, well, let's go ahead and do the second one first, because it said complete the tables first, so we'll go ahead and complete this other table. On this one, for line B, we see our rule is y is 4 more than x. So whatever we have on our x, we're adding 4. So 0 plus 4 is 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. 8 plus 4 is 12. 11 plus 4 is 15. Next thing I'm doing is building my coordinate pairs. I have 0 and 4, 5 and 9, 8 and 12, 11 and 15. Part B says, or part A down here says construct each line on the coordinate plane above. So the first thing I'm going to do is go with line A. I know that I need to put my x-axis and my y-axis. If you remember from previous videos, we know our x-axis is the bottom. If you make an X with your arms, you can fold those arms down and make a straight line that is horizontal. And if you make a Y with your arms and make these little ends of the Y your hands, if you fold your hands together, you make a straight line up. That's how I always remembered. It's kind of a fun little way to remember. Then we can go ahead and plot these points. So we have our first one, our X is at the 1, so 1 on the X. If it helps you, you can zoom in on this and fill these in. You don't have to, but you definitely can if that makes that easier. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then you don't have to worry about that. Go ahead and do that this way too, on the Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh goodness. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So now, all of those are filled in, so it makes it a little bit more simple, if that's how you prefer to do that. You definitely don't have to, though. So this one is at 1 on my x-axis and 2 on my y-axis. So I go in 1 on my x-axis, 2 on my y-axis, and I plot my point right there. The next one is at 5 and 6. So 5 on my x, 6 on my y. So 5 on my x-axis, go up 6 points. Whoa, that's a crazy dot. So 5, 6. If it helps you, you can also count that way. So if you find your x first, sometimes that's helpful. It's more helpful if you can't see it. If it's too far, you can kind of count. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if it helps you to do that, by all means, do that. Whatever works for you. The next one says 9 on the x-axis, 10 on my y-axis. So 9 meets right about there. And just to make sure, you can kind of look just like that, make a straight line. The next one is 13 and 14. So 13 on my x-axis, and then 14 on my y-axis, which is right there. And just to make sure, I'll go all the way across this line. See that's 14, yep. 13. Okay, so that is line A. I need to go ahead and build my line. The really cool thing is if you hold down, it'll make it a straight line, and you can kind of just go right through all these points, just like that. Okay. Oh, and we can go all the way to the end if we want. Just has to go through all 4 of these points. Right there. Okay. And we can show this line goes on forever and ever in both directions. That line could have stopped at this point. You could even keep it going past that point if you want. It just has to, you just have to make sure that it goes through those points, and then you're good. So, line B, which it looks like I have drawn on. Here we go. Line B starts at 0 on the x-axis and 4 on the y-axis, which is right there. Then we're at 5 on the x-axis and 9 on the y-axis. Next one is at 8 and 12. So 8 on the x-axis. Let me make sure 12 can be seen. No. Okay. 8 on the x-axis all the way up to 12. Then we have 11 on the x-axis all the way up to 15. Okay, and that's the last one. So we're going to go ahead and draw a line through all of those, holding it down. Really helps make that straight line. Noticing something. Wonder if you are. Then I can put my arrows to show that this is, since it's a line, it goes on forever and ever. Now I want to compare and contrast these lines. So I want you to look first to compare. Pause and go ahead and compare these lines. If you're thinking about all of the lessons that we've been doing on these, you'll notice, and the first thing you might notice about these is that the lines are parallel. And once again, sorry about my crazy handwriting. I don't have a stylus, so it looks kind of funky, but we're all in this together, right? And then when you're looking at the differences, you'll notice that with line B, the y values are just 3 more. So it just means that the line is the same, but the y values are just 3 instead of it being, instead of it being at the same exact spot, the y values, because they're 3 more, the line is just a little bit higher. So if you look at these points, you'll notice it's just a little bit higher. So the difference is that I'm just going to say it to you guys and you guys can write it. The only difference is that B has y values that are 3 units greater than A, or 3 units higher than A, either way. Based on the patterns you see, predict what line C, whose rule is that y is 7 more than x, would look like. Draw your prediction on the plane above. So I want you to think about it first. I want you to draw it first. Okay, so I'm predicting, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it and you can write it. I'm predicting that line C will be parallel to both lines A and B. When I think about what it's going to look like, since 7 is just going to be 3 more than this previous one, I'm predicting that it's going to be just about 3 spaces above on this line. So this, if you notice, kind of starts right there, and then it's about just 1, 2, 3, yep. Since these points are the ones that are right above each other, you can kind of see that there are just 3 places above. So I'm going to start my line 3 places above these. 1, 2, 3. Oh, goodness. That'll just kind of help me build my line. And then looking at, since there's a point here, maybe putting 1, 2, 3 places above there. That'll help me build my line, because you always want like at least 2 points to kind of help build that. I predict line C would look, ooh, I didn't start at the point, so there we go. I predict line C will look something about like that, just because it's about 3 places above, right? Now let's move on to question 2.